Hello and welcome to the Primary Class Regional in 2022 for Wales. We're really excited to be here and we can't wait to get through this day of racing with you. Let's find out what's going to be in the show today. And there we go, we're going to meet the team, see who you're competing against, then we're going to get the expert verdict, and then we're going to get into our primary class racing, which you're all here for. In the studio today, we've got Lawrence as our technical pundit, we've got Nelson and Amy who are going to be commentating and sharing experiences of the competition, and myself, Tom, and I'm going to be chatting you through today's racing. Now, we want you to make a lot of noise at home and at school or wherever you're picking up this stream of this regional. So after 3, we're all going to shout F1 in schools. Are we ready? Are we steady? 1, 2, 3. F1 in schools! That was incredibly loud. We could feel you here in Brighouse Live at F1 in Schools HQ. Make sure you're shouting all the way through the show and make sure you're cheering on your team and also all the other teams. And you can throw your support to each team by commenting in the chat on our live stream somewhere around here. I don't actually know because I'm rubbish at YouTube, but somewhere. What we're going to do before we move on with the show is we're going to remind ourselves what the primary class is all about. Wow, exciting times, and you've just worked your way through that exact process for the primary class competition, and that's why you're sat here watching this stream now. So really well done for getting through that process, and I hope you're incredibly excited to watch the racing a little bit later. But before we do that, Nelson and Amy, over to you to introduce our teams for today.
And here's how the grid is going to be lining up today. We have Nitros,
Road Warriors,
Blazing Star,
Blue Bubbles,
the Dark Eagles,
Shadow Speed
the
Racers,
Black Arrows,
the Fury Phoenix,
Marvelous Mad Joker Racers, trying to pull a prank on me there,
Drizzling Ducks,
Dangerous Dragons,
Jawdropping Jaguars,
Thunderbolts,
Rapid Racers,
Rocket Royale,
Hyper Kings,
the Minions,
Fast and Furious,
and Astro.
Whoa, some absolutely unreal teams there, and a really long list as well as we go through the region. Very exciting times and nice to see such healthy competition between everybody. You've also been sending in your introduction videos and we love to see it, so let's see who sent one in.
We are Nitros. We are the Road Warriors. Hello, we are Blazing Star. We are Team Rocket Royale. Hello, we are Astro.
I love that pose, looking absolutely great there. But we love all of your videos. Thank you so much for sending them in. You look great. So we are going to just have a quick look and some words of advice from Matt Ball Torrocroft, who was competing in a secondary competition, a team called Fibonacci, who did really, really well. So this is something where maybe you could aspire to be once you've got through the primary class and you're into the secondary competitions. Let's see.
Hello, my name is Matt Boltarkov. I began competing in F1 in schools in development class. Before starting my own team, Fibonacci, we won several awards, including the Sponsorship and Marketing Award, and we became Scottish champions. qualifying for the 2022 F1 in Schools World Finals, where we won the Red Bull Racing Award for a magnetic rear wing. Since competing in the 2022 World Finals, I found out I got the scholarship to study engineering at UCL. So I came down to London to check out what studying engineering here will look like. Since then, I've been researching and applying for engineering work to do in my gap year to continue my engineering journey after F1 in Schools. F1 in Schools has been a huge part of my high school years. From the beginning, when I was CAD designing our car using Fusion 360, to learning to 3D animate with Blender, my technical skills have developed significantly, to the point which I'm now taking them forward in my career in engineering. By being involved in the entire design process, from your ideas to putting it together to make a final product, I've been able to make videos such as this. My advice to teams would be to have fun. F1 in Schools is an excellent opportunity to go beyond school and to try new ideas. You can really do absolutely anything that you come up with. On every page of your portfolios, you should have at least one thing which you're really excited about, so that when you go into the judging sessions, you can speak with these experts about it and grow in your ideas, and where you can look back and really see how far you've developed through the journey of F1 in Schools. My final message, best of luck and have a world of fun learning along your F1 in Schools journey. Booyah!
Booyah indeed. Matt Ball-Torikoff there with some amazing words and advice, and actually you can see what he's managed to achieve gaining that scholarship there. So well done to Matt Ball-Torikoff, but there's some absolute inspiration for you all and just shows what you can achieve through this competition and beyond. Right then, I think now is a good time to go racing. The most exciting part of the day and the show for you. So make sure you're screaming along when you see your cars, because screaming will make them go faster. Let's check out the next two teams, or the first two teams, Amy.
And the first two cars we're going to be having on track are Nitros and the Fiery Phoenix.
Wow, look at these two teams. They're looking incredibly slick, aren't they, Lawrence?
They are very slick. I'm loving these two liveries. We've got the navy blue Nitros cars and the red, yellow and brown Fiery Phoenix. Let's see if they can both rise up in this first round. Both have very similar designs. We can see those wide front wings. They're sending the air over the front wheels, making sure that they don't create any turbulence that might slow the car down.
Well, let's find out how they perform, and let's head straight out on track for race number one.
Race number one with Team Nitros in lane 1 and Fiery Phoenix in lane 2.
Well, what a way to start off this regionals. The Fiery Phoenix winning that race with a 2.125. Nitros close behind with a 2.151.
Wow, that was an incredibly close race there, with two teams really pulling out some absolutely great times. I wonder if we'll see them breaking that that 2 second barrier at some point in today's racing. So we can head straight out on track for race number 2.
Race number 2 with the car still in the same lanes, with Team Nitros in lane 1 and the Fiery Phoenix in lane 2.
And the Fiery Phoenix taking that second win with a 1.981, an amazing time for them. Nitros very close behind with a 2.127.
Wow, breaking that 2 second barrier. Well done to the Fiery Phoenix. Nitros are incredibly close. Let's keep our fingers crossed that you might be able to break that 2 second barrier. But don't worry if you don't. It's not just about the fastest car. There's many other awards. And on that note, it's our award show tomorrow. So make sure you stream in live for that and find out where the awards go. Out on track also, we've got Amy and Max doing a sterling job bringing the cars back down from the end of the track and putting the canisters into the cars for you guys today. Their step counter is off the charts. Let's find out what happens in race number 3.
Race number 3 now with the Fiery Phoenix in lane 1 now and Nitros in lane 2. Lights out!
And the Fiery Phoenix absolutely burning a hole through the track there with a 1.836, an absolutely scorching hot time there. Nitros with a 2.445.
Great work by both teams. I'm so excited by this pair of racing. I want to get straight back on track, and we're ready to go for race number 4.
Come on, Nitros, a little bit more gas to beat the Fiery Phoenix. Will they do it?
Unfortunately, they didn't beat them this time, but they got a very quick time of 2.015. A great time for Nitrous to finish on. Fiery Phoenix still under the 2 seconds with a 1.957.
Great work to both teams there. Some incredible times, and Nitros pulling in at the end there with a really, really fast time. Just not quite making it under that 2 second barrier. So let's have a look at our leaderboard for the first time today. And there it is, the Fiery Phoenix with a 1.836, and Nitros with that last time there of their 2.015. Well done to both teams. We do notice an asterisk there after each team name. Nelson, what does that mean for our teams?
So that means that any team with that asterisk there, it's under investigation for a potential technical regulation breach. When the teams start their F1 Schools journey, Tom, one of the first challenges is to actually design and build a car. So there are certain regulations like length and width and even weight that the teams cannot fail, or else they may actually have an unfair advantage on track. So there is no consequence in terms of the overall classification, so they can still win overall, but there are certain awards that will have a consequence. So that could be, for example, the fastest car award or the best engineering award.
Great stuff. Thanks for that, Nelson. Well, let's check out our next two teams on track, Amy.
Poor luck to these two teams. We have the Road Warriors and the Marvellous Mad Joker Racers.
Marvellous Mad Joker Racers. I love that name and that design. And the Road Warriors with a really cool teal-looking car there. What do you make of these two cars, Lawrence?
Well, once again, two fantastic liveries, and we can see that they're actually bang on the same weight. So I expect this race to be super, super close. We can see a bit of a different take on the rear wings. Road Warriors have gone for that completely flat span across their rear wing, whereas the Marvellous Mad Joker Racers have got these, it's turned up at the corners. You know, you see F1 teams with this kind of design that creates these little vortices at the corners, which reduce a bit of drag, I believe. So let's see if that makes the difference.
Let's see if that does make the difference, and let's see if the Marvellous Mad Joker Racers pull out a joke of a time in race number 1.
Lane 1, Road Warriors. Lane 2, Marvellous Mad Joker Racers.
And the Road Warriors take that one with a 2.111. Very close, with the Marvellous Mad Joker Racers with a 2.128.
Well done to the Road Warriors there, taking that race. Really good work from both teams. Looking fantastic, your cars, and looking really well constructed. Let's see if we can get under that 2 second barrier in race number 2.
Race number 2 with the cars still in the same lanes, looking great. Look at those cars. Road Warriors, Marvellous Mad Joker Racers.
And the Road Warriors win the second race with a 1.981. And the Marvellous Mad Joker Racers, who is as colourful as Tom's socks, I might point out, have a 2.137.
A lovely choice of socks from myself, I think, this morning. But yeah, absolutely fantastic from both sets of teams there, looking absolutely great. And it's lovely to see teams breaking that 2 second barrier. I've got a funny feeling, though, that the Marvellous Mad Jokers are going to do it sometime over the next 2 races, or let's keep our fingers crossed anyway. So we head out on track now and see what happens in race number 3.
Race number 3 with the teams now in different lanes. Lights out!
And the Marvellous Mad Joker Racers making us all very happy here with a 1.780. Road Warriors going a little bit slower with a 2.259.
Wow, what a time that was. And we saw a marked difference in that time, Lawrence, for the Marvellous Mad Joker Racers between the first 2 races and the 3rd race. What could be a reason for that?
Yeah, so what a fantastic time for the Marvellous Mad Joker Racers. These cars, they'll be racing for the first time, many of them, and these wheel systems, which are the same for all of the teams in the primary class, that keeps our competition nice and close. But these can be a little tight when the car's first assembled, so we can see, as they race by race, they loosen up and that car just gains that bit of time.
Great stuff. Well, let's find out if they can gain any more time in the 4th race. Let's head out there now.
4th race. They are marvellous, they are mad, they are racers against the Road Warriors. Who will take it?
And the Road Warriors absolutely slaying the competition there with a 2.022. Marvellous Mad Joker Racers hot on their heels with a 2.095.
Road Warriors taking the battle there. Sorry, taking the war, and Marvellous Mad Joker's taking the war in race number 3. Well, let's check out what's that done to our leaderboard. And that has put the Mad Joker racers laughing all the way to number 1 with a 1.780, with the Road Warriors fighting into position 3 with a 1.981. Outstanding work from all 4 teams so far. All teams are under investigation, but let's see what happens when we check out our next 2 teams. Amy?
And the next 2 teams on track are going to be Blazing Star and the Drizzling Ducks. I hope it doesn't rain in here.
I love the name for the Drizzling Ducks, I have to say, and Blazing Star look like they're going to fire themselves up the leaderboard. Over to you, Lawrence.
I love how their livery's emulating their team name with those stars on their front wing and chassis. But we can see the Blazing Star has a bit of a different front wing, while the Drizzling Ducks front wing is at this steep angle. They're trying to fire the air up and over the car. The Blazing Star have this horizontal front wing almost. They're not looking to create any lift or downforce. Just convert all of that energy into forward momentum.
Let's find out what happens in race number 1.
Race number 1 with Blazing Star in lane 1 and the Drizzling Ducks in lane 2.
And there we have Blazing Star finishing with a time of 1.849. Nelson can probably tell us a little bit more about what happened with the Drizzling Ducks there.
Well, sometimes during the assembly, it's super easy just to put a little bit more pressure on those axles when we put the axles or the wings and even the axle bushes, or it may be a contact of the tether line with the underneath of the car. There's lots of things that can actually impact the speed of a car. With a little bit of an adjustment, let's see if the next race will be faster.
Yeah, and it's just important to say that a time was recorded there for the Drizzling Ducks. They did manage to just break the sensor at the end of the gate, so well done to the Drizzling Ducks. And you got a bit of time in the limelight there as you rolled into the finish line, and maybe that's what you were trying to achieve, take all the attention away from the other team. Let's find out in race number 2.
Race number 2, team still in the same lanes, Blazing Star, Drizzling Ducks.
And there we go, we can see they crossed the finish line there. Blazing Star with an absolutely scorching time of 1.896. Drizzling Ducks going a bit quicker with a 3.351.
And that was an amazing time there from Blazing Star. Really competitive toward the top of the leaderboard, with the Drizzling Ducks just getting over the end there with a good time. So well done. Remember, as we've said previously, it's not just about the racing, it's also about all the portfolio elements and the verbal presentations that you've put together that have been judged, and you'll find the results out tomorrow in the awards show. Let's roll on to race number 4. Or 3.
Race number 3, Tom, with the Drizzling Ducks now in lane 1 and the Blazing Star team in lane 2.
And Blazing Star absolutely blazing there with a 1.875. Amazing time for them. Drizzling Ducks going even quicker with a 2.903.
Well done to the Drizzling Ducks for breaking that 3-second barrier. They've got faster and faster each race. Let's find out what they can actually do now in race number 4.
Race number 4, final race for these 2 teams. Will it be a quack? Will it be a star? Let's see.
Well, they can go faster again, Tom, with a 2.730 for the Drizzling Ducks. Blazing Star posting a very good 1.852.
I would say that was a quacking effort from the Drizzling Ducks there, improving their time each round. Really, really well done. And Blazing Star absolutely brilliantly lighting up that sky. Let's find out on the leaderboard how you're doing. There we have it, Blazing Star in position 3 with that 1.849, and there's the Drizzling Ducks just at the back of the pack with a 2.730, but it's still all to play for. Really, really tight amongst all of our teams. Let's find out who the next 2 teams are.
And the next 2 cars taking on the track are the Blue Bubbles and Dangerous Dragons.
Yes, absolutely amazing looking cars, and I absolutely love the artwork there on the blue bubbles. I can see Amy with a thumbs up outside as well. She's really enjoying the bubbles that you can see there, and the dangerous dragons with a really unique looking car. Over to you, Lawrence.
Yeah, you can see that a lot of work and attention has gone into that beautiful livery. We can see that more conventional design maybe on the blue bubbles. But the dangerous dragons have this front wing that's almost pointy. There are these two protrusions, one on either side, pointing the car forwards. We'll see if it slices through the air. But just one other thing I wanted to bring your attention to on the blue bubbles. You may notice that their tyres, their wheels aren't quite like all the others. This isn't a big difference. But we can see the Pirelli sponsorship of our primary class, which is really cool. I mean, it makes them look just like F1 cars. And you can see that tread on those tyres. You know, this is like an F1 rain tyre, I think. These are made to churn away water. On the other hand, you know, we're fair weather racers here. There's no rain on our track. But, you know, maybe that'll help them because there is a little bit less of the wheel surface in contact with the track. Little less rolling resistance.
Well, let's see if there's any inclement weather out on track now as we head out there for race number 1.
Race number 1, blue bubbles, dangerous dragons. Lights out.
And Blue Bubbles popping into first place there with a 2.099. Dangerous Dragons very close behind with a 2.243.
Excellent work from both teams. I'm absolutely loving those designs and two really, really good times. I wonder if we can break that 2-second barrier and get up to the top of the leaderboard. Let's find out in race number 2.
Race number 2 with the car still in the same lanes. Well, if it's soap bubbles, when they burst, it leaves a little bit slippery situation there, so that's maybe why they have the rain tires.
Trying to slip up the competition. Blue Bubbles posting a 1.980. Amazing job for them. Dangerous Dragons with a 2.332.
Well done to both teams again. Really performing well on this track. Things are heating up in this regional. We've got plenty of teams. Everybody's in the mix. I hope you're screaming in your classroom and really enjoying this fast-paced racing. Make sure you are making plenty of noise as we head into race number 3.
Race number 3 with the Dangerous Dragons now in lane 1 and the Blue Bubbles team in lane 2.
And the Blue Bubbles feeling the wrath of the Dangerous Dragons there as they take the win with a 2.004. Blue Bubbles with a 2.093.
Really close racing again. Who knows who's going to take the last race, but do you know what? We can head out on track and find out now.
Come on, teams. It's all about those 4 consistent times. Lights out!
And Blue Bubbles takes the 4th and final race of this pairing with a 1.983, a great time for them. Dangerous Dragons with a 2.218.
Well done, both teams. You've done a great job there. Really posting some strong and consistent times. Let's see what that's done on our leaderboard. And the leaderboard's getting full now there. Position 4 for the Blue Bubbles, 1.980, and the Dangerous Dragons with a 2.004. Really, really looking strong. And look at that midfield. Look how close everything is looking. Well, let's head into round 5, I believe, and check out the next 2 teams.
And the next 2 cars taking the track are Red Lightning and the Jaw-Dropping Jaguars.
Wow, I'm liking both effects on these cars. 2 really well graphically designed cars. Let's go over to Lawrence.
Yeah, these 2 cars really pop out of the screen. So we've got Red Lightning. This looks to be a really well-constructed car. So you see those sharp edges wherever they've folded the body. You know, I think we might see this quality coming across with some nice consistent times. And the Jaw-Dropping Jaguars are just making me hungry, to be honest, because I think I see a sponsor on the front wing of their car. There's some mention of takeaways anyway, and I'm getting hungry.
Well, I think we all are hungry, but let's see how hungry our cars and teams are out on track with race number 1.
Race number 1 with Red Lightning in lane 1 and the Jaw-Dropping Jaguars in lane 2 with lights going out.
And the Jaw-Dropping Jaguars taking that first race with a 2.597. Red Lightning so close behind with a 2.720.
Maybe both teams have visited U-Tree Takeaway, slowing down a little bit at the end there, but we'd love to know what U-Tree Takeaway is like. If you can let us know via the stream chat, we'd love to find out more information. Red Lightning going really strong there, so well done to both teams. Let's get out on track for our next race.
Making Jaguar Land Rover very jealous with their team identity, Jawdropping Jaguars still in lane 2 and Red Lightning in lane 1.
And Red Lightning showing us how they can do it with a 2.086, a great time for them. Jawdropping Jaguars probably had a little bit too much takeaway with a 2.230.
Red Lightning improving their time. Again, they're getting closer to that 2-second mark. Let's hope that somebody could maybe break that 2-second barrier out of these two teams. Let's hope for another close race as we head out on track for race number 3.
Race number 3 now in the different lanes, Jawdropping Jaguars and the Red Lightning. There they go.
Red Lightning giving us a spark there with a 2.022. Jawdropping Jaguars so close behind with a 2.076.
A cracking result from Red Lightning. They're absolutely brilliant stuff, and Jawdropping Jaguars just keeping well in touch with posting 2 consistent times. I wonder who will take the last race. Let's find out.
4th and final race, Jawdropping Jaguars, Red Lightning.
While in the studio, all of our jaws are hanging wide open as the Jawdropping Jaguars post a great time of 2.004. Red Lightning with a 2.341.
Great stuff, really well done. Well, let's get straight over to our leaderboard and see what's happened. And there we go. Oh, the Jawdropping Jaguars have stuck their takeaway right in a joint in number 6 with a 2.004, and Red Lightning in position 9. Crackling away with a 2.022. Excellent work from both our teams there. You've done an absolutely amazing job. Well, let's move into the second half of this region and check out the next 2 teams.
And we have the Battle of All Saints School here, as we have the Thunderbolts and the Rapid Racers.
Who's going to get the credit or the street credit out on the playground? Let's find out, Lawrence.
Well, we look to have Thunder on the left and Lightning on the right. Wow, these are 2 fantastic cars. So we've got a high-sitting rear wing on that Thunderbolts car. Maybe they're looking to settle the back down, have a nice stable start with a bit of downforce there. Whereas the Rapid Racers, they've got a more flat design and they've got that checkered flag on the side of their car. The question is, will they see it first?
Let's see if they see the checkered flag first in the race number 1.
Race number 1 with the Thunderbolts in lane 1 and with the Rapid Racers in lane 2.
And wow, look at how close that was between the 2 scores from All Saints. Rapid Racers going first with a 2.407. Thunderbolts with a 2.443.
Wow, great stuff from both teams, posting those really good scores in their very first race. Loving the team identity that we've got from both our teams, and really, really competitive. I hope the classroom is loud. I hope that you're really cheering for your teams. Let's find out what happens in race number 2.
Race number 2 with the team still in the same lanes. I can hear the thunders. But will the races be sufficiently rapid?
And Rapid Racers just pulling away there from the other team from their school with a 2.213. Thunderbolts, I think, can go a little bit quicker with a 2.326.
Both improving on their times there, which is really good to see, and it's what we want to see race by race. Slight improvements, hopefully, as those wheel systems warm up as they move down the track. Well, I think we're ready to go out and check out race number 3.
Race number 3. The teams now in different lanes. Rapid Racers in lane 1. Thunderbolts in lane 2.
And Rapid Racers really showing us how quick they can go there with a 2.063, a great time. Thunderbolts with a 3.27, possibly going a little bit slower.
Yeah, a bit slower there from the Thunderbolts, just getting over the line, but a nice opportunity to see themselves on the camera as they roll into the finish line and the deceleration system. We've got one more race between these pairings, so make sure you get loud. Make sure you're screaming the school down. Let's head in there for race number 4.
Race number 4. Rapid Racers. Thunderbolts.
And Rapid Racers making that a full house with a 2.038. They've got the bragging rights this time. Thunderbolts with a 2.683.
Well, let's see what that's done to our leaderboard. And here come the teams. Oh, and there we have it. Rapid Racers with a 2.038 in position 10, and Thunderbolts find themselves in 11th position with a 2.326. It looks at the back end there like it is a battle between the All Saints Schools teams. Really, really compact again. We've still got a few more cars to be introduced and to get out on track. Let's find out who the next two are.
And the next two cars taking the track are going to be Rocket Royale, great alliteration there, and Hyper Kings.
Wow, Rocket Royale and the Hyper Kings, two great looking designs. Rocket Royale looking quite sleek there, Lawrence.
I would agree with you. So we can see down the centre of the chassis as their body goes around the CO2 chamber where the engine is housed. Instead of having that 90-degree angle there that might catch a bit of wind, it's a nice smooth slope, creating no resistance for the air. And we've also got this rear wing that's going in an arc over the top. Nice, smooth. It shouldn't cause much resistance at all. And then we've got the Hyper Kings. What a bright car. Obviously, Thunder and Lightning are very popular themes, and let's hope they go lightning fast.
I wonder if that's anything to do with the weather in Wales, Amy. You're from Wales.
I am indeed from the north of Wales, so hi to Rutland and anyone in St Asaph.
Oh, great to get a little shout out there for Amy. Well, anyway, more importantly, let's check out race number 1.
Race number 1 with Rocket Royale in lane 1 and Hyper Kings in lane 2.
And Rocket Royale showing that they're at the top of the food chain here with a 1.665. Hyper King is going almost a whole second slower with a 2.666.
Wow, what a time there
great
from Rocket
time.
Royale. I think that might be one of the quickest we've seen, but we'll find out at the end of these 4 races when we get onto the leaderboard. Rocket Royale flying down the track, and Hyper Kings have maybe hyped themselves up a little bit too much, but let's find out in race number 2.
Race number 2, teams still in the same lanes. Will we have a Rocket? Will we have a King?
And Rocket Royale is taking the lead on this Royal lineup with a 1.858. Hyper Kings trailing behind with a 2.332.
Well done there, Hyper Kings coming in much quicker than their first race, so well done. And Rocket Royale getting a little bit slower. Maybe they saved their best for last, and Hyper Kings might tip the scales as we move into the next set of races. Let's find out if Hyper Team can become kings in race number 3.
Race number 3, Hyper Kings now in lane 1, Rocket Royale in lane 2.
And Rocket Royale taking the crown there with a 1.856. Hyper Kings with a 2.462. Sorry about that.
Well, again, good times, really consistent from both teams out on track. I noticed that both teams are opting for the same set of stickers on their wheels. I wonder if that's causing issues for Hyper Kings, but if it's making the Rocket Royale zoom down that track. Let's find out in race number 4.
It's a battle between the medium tires and the wet tires. Let's see who takes it.
And Rocket Royale make a full house there with a 1.974. Hyper Kings with a 2.587.
Wow, great times from both sets of teams. Great job as we move through this region rapidly. Let's get to the leaderboard. And Rocket Royale being crowned there in position number 1. What a procession with that 1.665. And there we have the Hyper Kings in position 13. Unlucky for some, but maybe not the Hyper Kings with a 2.332. Well done to both teams, and look how stacked that leaderboard is getting. We've got a few more rounds left in this region. Let's go straight across and find out who our next 2 teams are.
And the next 2 cars taking the track are the Dark Eagles and Minions.
The Minions. I wonder if that's taking inspiration from a film. And we've got the Dark Eagles there flying into the picture. Who are you going for, Lawrence?
Well, we do have two different strategies there from the teams at the front end of their cars. We can see that the Dark Eagles have this popular sloped front wing design sending their air over the car, whereas the Minions actually have more of a ball nose on their car with this flat wing being presented to the air. That shouldn't create any lift or downforce, and hopefully no drag either. Let's see how they go.
Let's see indeed how they go in race number 1.
Race number 1 with the Dark Eagles against the Minions.
And the Dark Eagles taking that one with a 1.820. And we've still got the Minions on the screen with a 3.411.
The Minions there. Maybe they did take inspiration from the film and they're desperate to be in the limelight. The car was looking great, by the way, in that final shot. We could see the rear wing and the beautiful colours that you've chosen. The Dark Eagles flying down that track. Let's see if we can take Rocket Royale off place number 1 in race number 2.
Race number 2 now with the team still in the same lanes. Those lights are coming on and they're out.
And the Dark Eagles showing us how fast they can soar with a 1.801. And the Minions with a 2.334. They are despicable.
I love that, Amy. I really do. Well, well done again then to both teams. We're just going to quickly just pop to Lawrence and just ask him if he could give us one tip to our teams from competing as you did. What would the one thing that they could take forward after this competition?
Oh my, I mean, to give one thing only is really difficult, but I mean, we are seeing a few teams under investigation today, and I'd say just to be really careful when it comes to the regulations, make sure you read through all of them really carefully, because, you know, the racing, as we can see today, is exciting, it is unpredictable, but by making sure that you don't break any of the technical regulations, you can guarantee those points before you arrive at the competition and boost yourselves up the standings.
Brilliant for that. It's a great tip from Lawrence. Make sure you do read those regulations, which I'm sure you all did. Well, let's move on to our next race and find out what happens.
Race number 3 with the teams now in different lanes. Love the colours. Minions in lane 1, the Dark Eagles in lane 2.
And the Dark Eagles showing us once again that they can get under that 2 second with a 1.896. Minions doing a 2.588.
Excellent from both teams there. It's nice to see the Minions improving their times and getting better and better in each round. Well done. And the Dark Eagles flying under that 2 second mark in each of their races. So really, really top stuff from both teams. But let's find out what happens in round 4.
Round 4, final race for this pair. Minions, the Dark Eagles. Will the Eagles fly very high in the sky?
And they do indeed, Nelson, with the Dark Eagles posting a 1.965. A great job for them. And the Minions going pretty quick with a 2.227.
Looks like the Dark Eagles did fly high in the sky, Nelson, there. They really did a great job. Let's find out where that's put them on the leaderboard. And there it is, the Dark Eagles in position 3 with a 1.801. Excellent stuff there to get in the top 3. And the Minions despicably down in 13. Unlucky for some. Maybe not the Minions this time round with that 2.227. Well done to both teams. And wow, look at that leaderboard. Say it every single time, but it is completely jam-packed with some amazing times. Really, really well done. Let's check out our next 2 teams.
And the next 2 cars taking on the track are these Shadow Speed Racers and Fast and Furious.
Shadow Speed Racers and the Fast and Furious. Let's see. Lawrence, what do you make of these 2 cars?
Well, we do have 2 very similar designs, so I would expect this race to be incredibly close, but I'm loving that dark and brooding livery against the bright orange of the Fast and Furious. One wonders if they're Max Verstappen fans. They'll certainly have the whole of the Netherlands cheering for them.
Great stuff. Thanks for that, Lawrence, and bringing in some current F1 knowledge there. Really love to see it. Let's head over for race number 1.
Race number 1 with the Shadow Speed Racers in lane 1 and the Fast and Furious in lane 2.
And the car from Escolta not taking that with a 1.858, a great time for them. Fast and Furious with a 2.126.
Wow, great first times. Really close racing. I wonder what that will have done to our standings, but we're not going to find out because we've got 3 more races to go. Before we do, let's get out and tick another race off, Nelson.
Race number 2. Teams still in the same lanes. Shadow Speed. Fast and Furious.
And Shadow Speed taking that one again with a 1.901. Fast and Furious with a 2.513.
Great stuff there. Absolutely brilliant from our teams. I hope you're screaming in the classroom. I hope you are cheering for your teams as the cars are out on track. And don't forget, make sure you're supporting the students from different teams within your school as well. I hope you're all watching this together. We are absolutely delighted and getting a bit sad that it's getting quite close to the end of this region because it's been incredibly competitive. Let's get out on track and see race number 3.
Well, race number 3 indeed, Tom, with Fast and Furious in lane 1 and the Shadow Speed Racers in lane 2.
Well, if they weren't shouting before, they will be now with an amazing time of 1.760 for the Shadow Speed Racers. Fast and Furious with a 2.350.
Wow, the Shadow Speed Racers getting in there with a really quick time. Definitely a competitive time. And the Fast and the Furious getting a little bit quicker. So well done to that team there. Well, we've got one more race left in this pairing. Let's find out what happens, Nelson.
Final race. Fast and Furious Shadow Speed Racers in lane 2.
I think you should be a voice actor, Nelson. That was amazing. Shadow Speed Racers winning that one there with a 1.896, a great time. Fast and Furious with a 2.274.
Let's check out the leaderboard. And there we have it, Shadow Speed Racers, hot on the heels of the Rocket Royale, still kings of the region. With a 1.760. Well done, Shadow Speed Racers. And the Fast and the Furious down there with a 2.126. Again, this is so exciting to see. I cannot call what's going to happen, but we're going into our final round of this region. So save those biggest cheers for the last. Let's get screaming. Let's get going. Let's go and check out our last 2 teams.
And the last 2 teams to take the track, we have the Black Arrows and Astro.
Black Arrows and Astro. Which way are they pointing to you, Lawrence?
Well, the Black Arrow seems to be pointing backwards, but I'm sure they'll only be going forwards down the track. I love their team name emulated in their livery there. But wow, this is a really different design from Astro. We can see their swept back front wing, like a fighter jet almost, with the turned up ends as well and the sloping body. I think this car is going to be very fast.
Let's hope it is. And which way to the track? I think it's that way. Let's see what happens now.
Race 1. The Black Arrows. Team Astro. Lights out.
And that different design really paying off for Astro there with an amazing 1.628. What a time there. The Black Arrows with a 1.912.
I think that might have been the first time both our teams have gone under the 2-second barrier in a race, or if not, certainly in the first race of our 4 rounds. Let's get straight out on track because it was too exciting. Race number 2.
Race number 2 with the Black Arrows in Team Astro. I have to say, I love those front wing and rear wing from Team Astro. Very creative.
It does look amazing, and it's not just pretty looking, it's also fast with a 1.5. Amazing time, and the Black Arrows posting a 1.649. Incredible.
I cannot believe what we have just witnessed. We didn't witness on the cameras. It was both teams were so fast. That was an unbelievable race. But Astros with a 1.5. That is an incredibly quick time for the primary class. Absolute kudos to that team. And the Black Arrows being overshadowed ever so slightly, but still with an absolutely amazing time, that 1.6 that they've just posted as well. Let's check out race number 3. I'm so excited.
Race number 3. Will Astro go even faster? Will the Black Arrows fire away and win it?
Well, they won't go quicker, but they are still very quick and consistent with a 1.631 for Astro. Black Arrows with a 2.129.
Absolutely amazing stuff. I am on the edge of my seat, quite literally. Let's check out race number 4. I'm incredibly excited to see how this round and region finishes.
Race number 4. Astro. Black Arrows.
And that's not as quick, but another win for Astro with a 1.743 and the Black Arrows with a 2.128. Down to both of those teams.
What absolute racing we have just witnessed, and we did save some of the best until last with that absolutely whopping 1.5 there from Astro. Let's have a quick look what that's done to our leaderboard, and it's split in two because we've got so many teams. And there we have it, Astro in position number 1, firing in with that 1.500, and the Black Arrows pointing their way into number 2 with a 1.649. The only thing we need to do now is check out the final leaderboard with the points allocated to each of our teams, and here's the final leaderboard. And there's the final leaderboard with Astro in number 1, Black Arrows 2, Rocket Royale in 3, Shadow Speed in 4, Mad Joker Racers in 5, Dark Eagles followed by the Fiery Phoenix and the Blazing Stars, Blue Bubbles, Road Warriors, and then in 11th, or joint 11th, we've got the Dangerous Dragons and the Jawdropping Jaguars, Nitros in 13 with Red Lightning, followed by Rapid Racers, Fast and Furious, Minions, Thunderbolts, Hyper Kings, and a quacking effort from the Drizzling Ducks there in 20th position. But they've done an absolutely amazing job. Well done to all of our teams there posting such fantastic times. You've done an amazing job. We just want to say to the students that you have done so well. The hard work and effort that you put into your projects is absolutely unreal, and it is clear to see from that regional racing how much hard work and effort has paid off for you guys. Make sure you do register for next year where you can get involved again live and in person. We also want to thank your teachers. Without them you wouldn't be competing today, so massive kudos to the teachers for supporting the F1 in Schools competition, and we can't wait to see you guys again soon in a competition near you. Also would like to thank Lawrence for his absolutely amazing technical punditry, Nelson and Amy for their commentary, just keeping us all engaged throughout the show, and thank you from me, Tom, at the F1 in Schools HQ. We can't wait to see you tomorrow to find out where the awards have gone. Make sure you tune in. We'll see you soon.
Well,